I was wanting to try Profilo. A friend of mine had had Profilo and her skin looked incredibly fresh. And I searched for Profilo and he was one of the first results and he had great reviews. So that's how I started to talk to him. I've had quite a few skin doctors, both here and in America where I used to live, and I think Yanni's approach is very honest and clear, and I don't feel like he's trying to sell me anything for the sake of selling me something. His personality is very caring. You can tell from the beginning that he wants to make sure that the results are perfect. And yes, it just felt much more like a straightforward conversation, less like a sales pitch. And yeah, the results that I've seen with him so far have been brilliant, so he recommended all the right things. So I haven't actually had any fillers because we decided to go with Profilo first, and then I started on polynucleotides to try to help with the under eye area so that I didn't have to do fillers because I was a bit nervous about fillers. And the polynucleotides gave my skin a much tighter and more youthful appearance. The Profilo, I love it because it makes the skin look very fresh, like you've had many good, perfect night's sleep. But the polynucleotides I think is a game changer. And I'm so glad that he offered me that rather than the filler, which I'd originally come in for, because it just feels like a less invasive treatment. I think his manner is he's just a very sincere but also really funny. Like the treatments can be a little uncomfortable sometimes. He doesn't pretend that they're not going to be, and we go at a pace that I don't feel in any way like it's like he's being rushed or anything else. We always have a laugh together. It feels like coming to see a friend now, and I trust him completely to recommend the cutting edge things that he obviously knows so much about. So I look forward to our sessions together. I mean, the reviews were one of the reasons why I reached out to him in the first place. I think he does rank very highly for treatments like Profilo, but the reviews is something I always look at when it comes to treatments, especially face treatments. And he has an incredible reputation online, and I would agree with all of the reviews. I also think that when I refer him, I'm echoing a lot of what the reviews have said, that he's one of the best in the business. He's a pleasure to work with, and he's just an incredibly knowledgeable, talented doctor. I think this particular doctor, Dr. Yannis, I think he's going to do the absolute right thing for each individual customer, patient. I don't think he's trying to sell a certain routine that is his agenda. I think that I would recommend Dr. Yannis because I think he looks at each patient individually, and once we've had conversations, we sort of figure out a plan together, and it feels like it's not just I'm going to sell you this one routine, and that's the same thing for everybody. And also I came in thinking I wanted to do certain things, and he also helped to educate me a little bit. So I think his experience and just how much of a personal touch he has with his patients sets him apart. Very talented, very caring, and just a really lovely man that's very trustworthy. I mean, maybe that's but I think, like I said before, his personal approach, the sense of humour that we have, like the laughter we have together. Some of these appointments can be quite clinical and uncomfortable and not particularly pleasant, but even if some of them are a little bit invasive, we still have a giggle, and yes, I think he's a pleasure to have as a doctor. He feels, like I say, more at this point like a friend that is very talented with skincare. Well, we had this situation where he was doing my polynucleotides, and I have a very low pain threshold, which is probably a nightmare for him because I'm sure other patients wouldn't feel that at all. So I did feel like they were quite they're quite stingy, and it lasts very, very small period of time, so it's not much. But he puts on some music to relax me. I have like a stress ball and things, and there was a song that had the lyrics, and the feeling goes on, and it kept repeating, the feeling goes on, the feeling goes on. And I started laughing, and then he was so in the zone of doing the treatment, he didn't really hear it, and I kind of pointed at the lyric, and we were both listening to the feeling goes on, and he'd done one side of my face with this stinging feeling, and we just caught each other's eye and just had a proper laugh about it. And I think now whenever either one of us listens to that song, we kind of go back to that moment of just quite a serious procedure that was just a very funny moment in the background. It manages to make kind of what could be quite an uncomfortable situation actually really funny and relaxed. And I think that's a real talent in itself.